In Matthew 7:22, Jesus says that people will say, Lord, Lord, have we not done this in your name and done that in your name? But he will say, get away from me, because I did not know you. This is one of the scariest things, I think, in the Bible. How is it that somebody can miss the mark so bad? And that also makes me think, how is it possible that we are missing the mark? You see, we live in a culture and an age where we're not relying on them anymore. We're not relying on God for things. We live in a country where God is able to do whatever because we are able to do whatever. We have this way of making God look like us as well too. And that makes me think, are we the ones he's going to be talking about? Are we the ones that are missing it so bad that he's going to say that to us? There were many of that day that would call themselves God. But what makes Jesus actually say he's God and actually be God? Well, that comes from the resurrection. And that comes from this, that he has conquered death and that he overcame it for us. So he has the right to tell us what to do, how to live, how to act, how to breathe, which is something that is not kosher nowadays. It's something that we don't like. We don't like to know that God has control over us that way because we like to control our own lives. But to be honest with you, the American dream, although it's not a bad thing, it's the pursuit of what's next. What is next that I can buy? What is next party I can go to? What is the next fun that I can have? What is the next thing that's going to fulfill that little bit of angst inside of my heart? It's always what's next. I know it. I do it. Oh, look, I bought this new pair of shoes. I bought this new shirt. I bought this new whatever. And it's going to make me feel so good for the next 24 hours, 2 weeks. Where does that leave us when we're always chasing what is next? This void in our hearts leaves us wanting more. And to be honest with you, the American way now is to want the fulfillment and the peace. We want the things that the kingdom brings, but we don't want Jesus. You can't have the kingdom without the king. That's the thing. But we now think that we should be able to do whatever we want, but not have our lives centered with who Jesus was. Although America was never a Christian nation, it had Christian morals and Christian values, and people looked at these things, and that brought this type of peace and fulfillment a while back. And there were still problems, there were still a lot of things that were going on that were wrong, but we drove ourselves to trying to please the king. But then we take all that out. We pull all that out, and this idea of secularism comes into the world. That we are our own gods, that there is no God, that we can do what we want. You only live once, right? And you start to think that you can have the kingdom without the king. And this is where that passage comes into play. This is where I think that a lot of us are talking about who is God. And we want to be a part of God's kingdom. But he may say to us, he never knew us. Or we never knew him. It is the most haunting statement, I think, in the whole Bible. Because how can we miss the mark so badly, but think that we are so right? Jesus would later go on to talk to the religious leaders of their day that knew the Bible front and back and really thought they had everything in place. And he would call them brood of vipers. He would tell them that they are wrong. And they are the ones that actually then crucified him. He would say to them, you clean the outside of the cup, but the inside is still dirty. We can act and play church very well. We can act and play like we're Christians very well. But when it comes down to the hard stuff, when it comes down to not having our fun, not having our party, not being able to do what we want, are we still Christians? I don't know where you are today. I only know where I am. But this haunts me. This keeps me up at night. Somebody that has studied the Bible so much, am I like the Pharisees? What am I missing? To be honest, that's what these videos are about. That's why I want to do stuff like this, because I think there's a lot of times that we just miss stuff. And I don't know all the answers. I don't have all the answers. And if anybody tells you they do have all the answers, they are a liar. But if we start to think about it and seek God, maybe we'll start to realize that there are places in our lives, mine included, that we have missed the mark. Overall, though, I think the church and Christianity is doing well. But there are definitely some places that we all need God to come into our lives like sandpaper and scrub down those dreams and hopes we have, because they probably don't align with who He is and what He wants for us.